Before the story begins, I'd like to ask you to subscribe and like. This will help the channel grow. The Shadows of Ashbourne, a haunting detective mystery. It began with a letter, old, yellowed, and smelling faintly of rain. Detective Michael Crane received it on a quiet Monday morning, just as the first sunlight crept over the roofs of Ashbourne. The handwriting was neat, almost elegant. "She's still out there. Come before it happens again." No name. No return address. Crane had left Ashbourne years ago, escaping the weight of small-town secrets. But something in that letter pulled him back. By evening, his car rolled down the cracked main road, headlights sweeping past shuttered shops and empty gas stations. The town looked asleep, or worse, forgotten. At the diner, old Mrs. Hargrove nearly dropped her coffee pot when she saw him. "Michael Crane," she whispered, "you shouldn't have come back." The local sheriff's office was quiet. A single case file lay open on the desk. Lila Mercer, missing, 2012. 12 years gone. Crane remembered the girl's mother crying in the rain, the search dogs barking into the dark woods. They never found a trace. Now someone claimed she was still out there. Crane booked a room at the old Ashbourne Inn. That night, as wind rattled the windows, he replayed the letter's words in his mind. Outside, a figure stood beneath the streetlight, unmoving, watching. When Crane stepped closer to the window, it was gone. The next morning, Crane drove out to the old Mercer property, a stretch of forest on the northern ridge. Locals called it the Whispering Woods. Branches arched over the road like ribs, and the mist hung low, thick as smoke. He found the Mercer cabin still standing, windows boarded but door ajar. Inside, dust covered everything except one thing: a child's red shoe lying in the middle of the floor. Fresh mud stained the sole. Crane crouched to examine it when he heard it, a faint voice outside, calling his name. "Michael!" He rushed out, but the woods were empty, only the rustle of leaves and the distant caw of crows. Yet footprints, small, bare, led away from the house and vanished by the creek. He called the sheriff, but reception died halfway through the conversation. The radio hissed with static. Then, a single whisper came through. "Don't trust them." By dusk, Crane returned to town, unsettled. At the inn, a note waited under his door. "You were closed today." Digging through old police archives, Crane found a photograph of the search party from 2012. 12 faces, but one stood out. A woman he didn't recognize, standing slightly apart, smiling faintly. Behind her, the same was blurred into shadow. He scanned the town's public records. No match. No trace of that woman ever living in Ashbourne. Yet her face appeared again, in another photo from a different case file, dated 2007. Crane visited the local library, where the archivist, a quiet young man named Harris, grew pale when shown the photo. "She comes back," he said softly, "every time someone goes missing." That night, Crane dreamed of the woman, pale skin, black hair, eyes like glass. She whispered, "It's not the woods you should fear. It's the town." When he woke, his window was open. On the table lay a photo, taken just hours earlier, of him standing at the forest edge. Rain swept through Ashbourne that night, cold, relentless. Crane parked his car near the old quarry and followed the dirt trail up toward Hollow Hill. According to Harris, that's where the last disappearance happened, only 3 months ago. The air was heavy with the smell of wet earth and pine. Lightning flashed, revealing the outline of a forgotten house built into the hillside. Windows broken, vines crawling up the brick. Inside, time had stopped. Faded wallpaper peeled away to reveal words scratched beneath. "She remembers." A floorboard creaked behind him. Crane turned sharply. No one. But a photograph lay on the floorboards, half buried under dust. The same woman again. Only this time, she wasn't alone. Next to her stood a man, him. He froze. The man in the photo was unmistakably Michael Crane, younger, but him. His chest tightened as he flipped the photo. On the back, written in the same neat handwriting as the first letter, "You promised you wouldn't forget." Thunder cracked above. Crane stumbled outside, breath shallow. The forest seemed to hum, whispering his name. Back in town, he demanded answers from Sheriff Doyle. The man stared at the photo, color draining from his face. "Michael," he said quietly, "you were part of the search team that year. But after that storm, you said you didn't remember." Haunted by the photo, Crane broke into the town records office that night. Files, clippings, police notes, all linked to disappearances spanning 2 decades. Every 7 years, someone vanished near Hollow Hill. He spread the evidence across the table under the flickering light. Every case had one thing in common: the mysterious woman, always unchanged. Her name appeared once, Alara. A note in Sheriff Doyle's handwriting read, "Alara Crane, presumed deceased, 1986. His pulse stopped. Crane. His last name. He dug deeper, hospital records, birth certificates, until he found it. Alara Crane, mother, deceased in childbirth. Son, Michael Crane. His hands trembled. His mother. But how could she appear in photos decades after her death? The walls seemed to breathe. The bulb flickered, then shattered. In the dark, her voice filled the room, soft, sorrowful. "You left me there, Michael. You let them bury the truth." Papers flew from the table as a cold wind swept through the room. He turned, and for a brief moment, he saw her. Standing in the doorway, eyes shining through the dark, lips moving silently as if repeating a prayer. Then she was gone. At dawn, Crane returned to the woods, the place it all began. The fog was thicker than ever, curling around the trees like smoke. He followed the creek until it opened into a small clearing where a broken gravestone leaned against a birch tree. The name was barely legible: Alara Crane, 1957 to 1986. Beside it, fresh flowers. Someone had been here recently. He knelt, fingers brushing the cold stone. "Mother, what happened here?" A voice answered behind him, the sheriff's. "She wasn't supposed to die, Michael. The experiments, they tried to erase her memory, and yours too. You were there when it happened. You saw everything." Crane stood slowly, his gaze hardening. "You knew." Doyle sighed. "We all did. Ashbourne was built on a lie, on her research. She found something in those woods, something that could bring memories back, or take them away." The ground trembled softly. Wind howled through the trees, and Crane turned. The woman stood once more at the forest's edge, pale and still. "Remember me," she whispered. "Finish what I started." He stepped forward, but she began to fade, her outline dissolving into the mist. The forest went silent. Only the red shoe remained at his feet, the same one from the cabin. As he picked it up, he saw something new inside the sole, a piece of paper folded tight. It read, "The town is not cursed. It's waiting." And as he looked up, the fog rolled back, revealing the faint glow of 100 lights deep beneath the forest floor, as if the earth itself was waking up.